My toddler is gonna learn to ride a bike with this. Come hell or high water. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just bought this balance bike online. It was like one of the cheapest ones, 40 bucks. Some of these are like 300 bucks. Dude, as an adult, I haven't bought a $300 bike. But this bike is actually brilliant. Let's take a look at it. So, opening up the Toddler balance bike, and oh no! There is way more assembly than I was thinking. You know, what I noticed is that there is a huge price differential between these balance bikes. I mean, something like this at the $40, $30 range, up to like $300. And so I wonder if the big price differences come in how assembled they are. Like, here's the front fork. Here are the wheels, which are interesting because they're not, I guess they're kind of like a rubber or foam, but they're not rubber like bicycle wheels. You know what I'm saying? They're a little funny. The seat, everything is pretty light, so hopefully it should balance, but man, all right. This thing is definitely a little more complex than I was thinking, but I'm going to read the instructions here, start putting this together, show you how to do that, and then see if it works. All right, one of the things that it came with is this little flashing LED light.
Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go. So I'm not exactly sure how it turns on, but my son loves playing with it because it's bright and flashy, and it's kind of nice that it came with a bike because it's a little bit of a safety feature, but I'm not sure if it's going to make it on the bike the way he is abusing it a little bit. So let's look at the rest of the bike. All right, I was getting ready to assemble this thing. I actually thought that right there, which is a book of decals and reflectors, which is a good thing, was my instruction booklet. But I'm not sure exactly what I did with it. But it's kind of looking at the parts here, I think I know what I generally need to do. So here are these spacers for the wheels that are like axles. They have little bearings in them. And then this is a little spacer for this front post so that you can put the handlebars in here. I've noticed that there is no brake, so that's a little bit different from some of the other balance bikes that will have a hand brake. Just gonna have to foot brake it.
Where the ball go?
You lost it? Okay, I guess we're not gonna put in the little light because I don't know where it is. But then that little light goes into this little rubber ducky here, and that can sit on your bars, and that's gonna be your little safety. But we're gonna have to use reflector bits for that. And then I think your axles here, you got the tool here. We'll figure it out together, won't we? Or we'll play the parts like instruments. All right, let's get on it. Okay, so this is the main tube here for the front forks. I think these just kind of press in here. I'm gonna kind of press them in with a little bit of muscle, and then so they don't want to stick in there that good. And then this one will go up here. So you do want to press these in as hard as you can beforehand. And then I'm going to put the front fork up through the bottom and then drop in the handlebars down on the top. And then I'm guessing this piece here, this lock, will go on top of here. So this is the bottom of the front forks. And I'm going to put that on there. And now I'm going to take my handlebars and then drop the handlebars down into here, okay? And you can adjust these. That's obviously kind of the point. Adjust that height and then lock them down right here. Okay, these little wheel bearing caps, you can see here that there are some slots and then those little bars right there. So they have to obviously kind of meet up with those. So you just turn it, so it kind of falls in, and then pound that sucker into place. All right. What is that for? Those go into this rear fork, and so we are going to put this one in and this one right there. And the trick about this is the little detent right there. You're going to push that in, line it up with that hole, and now it's in there. Okay, and we're going to put the second one in there as well. So obviously, toddlers want to get involved. Push it in, yeah, twist in there. Now we have the holes where the axles will mount up. So we're going to put the wheels in here, and the axles are right here. And what I've kind of noticed is that they're basically a bar in the middle and then screws on the outside. So you're going to do just like he's doing, except that's going to be in the inside. Run this through the middle of that axle, and then use the screws on the outside to tighten it to the axle. All right, now I kind of screwed up because what we're gonna need to do is have that axle kind of float in between these two pieces. So what I'm gonna do now is just take a flathead screwdriver, or it looks like I might be able to get my fingernails under there, but you don't want to bust up those beautiful nails of yours, and take this out, because what you're gonna have to do is actually, like, it's gonna kind of go like this, and then we're gonna put the axle on one side, you know, including the cap.
Too big.
Yeah.
Too big.
So if you understand what I'm saying here, you can drop that in, take all the hardware off this end, drop the axle on this end too, or drop the ball bearings on this end, then replace all the hardware, and then attach it to the forks. All right, so what we have is the little axle poking up there, right? Both sides. So we're going to put it into the fork. This is going to be the same for the front fork or the rear. And then I'm going to put the little spacer on top here on both sides. That's going to give us a little space, kind of work as a little bearing against the outside here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, here's my top tip. Once you get this axle in, you've got this little spacer, a little bearing there. Then you get this little locking washer. I think this is going to go on here and kind of lock this on here. It's going to kind of lock the axle from the inside, and then you're going to use that kind of button head Allen screw on the outside to lock it to this. So you're going to kind of want to, I don't know, finger tight these here on both sides. So it'll probably take a little while for you to figure out, but as you go faster and faster, learn how to balance on a bike. That's the whole point. So if you want to pick up this LEDIVO, I'll put a link to it in the description below. All right, see you later. See you around, Panda and Theo. Out.